Hello, everyone. Mike Arnold here, co-founder, Path Trading Partners, along with Bob Iacino. Hey, 42 Lou. How are you doing today? Let's see. Oh, let's try this out. Let's try this to all the new people here. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, hit the like button, and ring the bell. Big shout out to Ken for helping me with that subscribe graphic. All right, another update in Tesla. The options. Why don't we cut over to the options real quick before we do the analysis? Let's see here. There's my options screen. So let's see. I mean, it's another insane day. 131,000 of the 900s, 108,000 of the 905s, 198,000 of the 910s. That's what I was watching for at the end of the day. 49,000 of the 915s, 71,000 of the 920s, and 26,000 of the 930s. So that was it was a very strong day, a very strong options day, and the stock rallied pretty well. Yeah, everything is going well. Thank you. Just a little tired. Been a long week. It's sort of been exhausting, but you got to keep the show going on. I'm getting the setup all working with the multiple cameras. Depending on where I am looking, let me know what you think about all this. Here's the price action. So I was watching the end of day. It closed officially at 909.68. But we post was 909.95. Let's see if we can see my pointer. I'll probably have to make my pointer a little bigger too. I made it bigger on my recording computer, but this is now my streaming computer. You know, the rough things in life that you have to deal with. So let's take a look at this intraday price action. We already identified the key levels. You see also that 908.50 area spiking through it in the beginning, but then just holding there until the very long push at the end, and I was keyed in on those 910s. Post-market closed 909.95. So what do you do? Let's see. I'm just going to switch back and look. Let me just look at my other screen. Let's see how much open interest. Let me actually switch back to the options screen. I'm just having too much fun with this. Open interest closed the day at 20,882. So what do? Post market 909.95. So you're 5 away from essentially in the money. And so do you exercise and take delivery of the shares, or do you let them expire worthless? I mean, if you're thinking there's a gap up on Monday, so it all depends. Now, that's the big question going into Monday, because we have come so far so fast. Let's take a look at that daily chart. The daily chart, let me get to my charting computer screen. There we go. I mean, we are massively overbought. By the way, we still have a potential divergence, even with this strong price action over the last 2 days from the last push up, because last week's push was so strong, it capped the RSI at 94.80. Right now, the RSI 93.68, so still a potential divergence, and this is running out of some steam. I mean, I guess it can keep going. It is Tesla. It can keep going. If you keep getting this absurd kind of options volume, I mean, just look at what was read off today. Look at what I highlighted just a couple minutes ago. Back to the shorter term charts, because we have to do the end of week wrap up and prepare ourselves for trading next week. So let me see here. Daily, we finally get to update the retracements. We finally get to update the retracement since new all-time high today. The official high, what was the exact high print? 910. Just closing slightly below that. Close again, 909.68. Going to take off we've already hit the targets on the red wedge. We're going to leave this path trend line behind. and identify key levels. Should this keep going above 910 next week? Let's take a look at the shorter term charts. I mean, that's roughly the area to watch. 910. Then above 910. Above 910, we got 916.81 to 917.67. So that's my next target on a bullish move up, and it could be a gap up. 923.62. It really depends. I mean, the S&P also and Nas, they were taking some hits off Powell's comments. So that's going to also depend. But Tesla proves it can buck the trend. So we have 916 to 917.67, 923.62, and a level that's been on there forever. 945.51. I want to know how many people had a price projection from back essentially on the 26th of January. Well, I'm wondering if we're going to hit that 945.51 because that's how long that price projection's been on there. Again, if you take a look at how, just step back, I mean, this has again gone vertical, and we're really outpacing the daily rotation zone. We had this brief little sideways move, but now we're outpacing it again. The 4-hour rotation zone, besides this little gap, you know, I mean, we traded here. Well, this was earnings, so we still gapped down into that rotation zone, but then really outpacing that one too, and a potential 4-hour divergence. So I am keeping an eye on this. Would not be surprised to see some pullbacks. If we don't get the options kicking off and we have some selling pressure in the S&P, then I'll really start focusing on the pullbacks. My key levels will be about just, I can't ignore that 900 level, but again, today we dipped to that 897, which held really nicely, that 1-hour rotation zone, rising up, and we had the 897.76 harmonic level, so that was a really nice area when it hit there to watch for a potential reversal, especially with all those options going off. Very nice buying opportunity there. And below there we have 895.73. So really anywhere even to 895.73 would just be a pullback into the 1-hour rotation zone. If we start breaking below that, I'm going to focus on about this 888.50 area with the rising 4-hour rotation zone. That's also this bottom of this support channel. Maybe I'm going to bump that up slightly about to 889.30. Let's go with 889.30. That's a little candle support area. Rising rotation zone. So if we break below that 895.75 area, I'm watching 889.30 in conjunction with the rising 4-hour. We break below that, I'm back to about 874.50. So 875 area is my next key support. And then the daily rotation zone is all the way back at about 865. So that is my next area for any bigger retracement, at least for Monday. I'm just correcting some of these levels. This would be the key area to watch for, that 863 with the candle support right there. And the major lows on the 4-hour are back down at 851.50 area with the rising 4-hour rotation zone. And remember, we still have that gap left behind. So if we break down even further and do a correction below that 851.37, we have a couple gaps left to fill. Support at the bottom of the support on the daily now coming in at 822.83. Let's jump to that weekly. And look at that weekly. Support's all the way back at 800. That's how far it's outpaced the weekly rotation zone again. And it will, I guarantee it will, come in contact again with the weekly rotation zone. It doesn't have to be at 800 because that can rise and Tesla could fall. Tesla could move sideways and this can keep rising, but it won't stay that way forever. I remember hearing about it end of last year, especially January, beginning of January, where we had this huge ramp up, and then, I started talking about it's going to reconnect with the rotation zone, and we went sideways, rotation zone caught up, and then you got the dip. I'm not saying that will happen again because we don't exactly know what's going to happen again, but when we do outpace the weekly rotation zone, you got to be prepared and you should know your downside targets, your stops, and your risk levels. Overall, what are the bigger pictures beyond that? If you get above 945, next key level is 990 to 1008, and then you have 1116. Theoretically, it could keep going, even though you all know what I think fundamentally, but, we just got to see. Also, this is some of the most, this is the most overbought on a weekly time frame it's ever been. So keep that in mind also. I mean, it doesn't have to top out just yet, but it can run out of steam and reverse quickly. I'm just wondering what the monthly looks like. It's always good to check. Oh, look at that. We still could have a big monthly divergence set up. That would be sort of interesting. So I will keep an eye on that. But you see from a monthly perspective, coming back to that monthly rotation zone, catching support there, never even closed in the monthly rotation zone and rotated up. So that's about it for this week. We have our game plan. Our next minor target, either for a gap or if it rallies, is a 916.81 to 917.67. That's the first key area that I'll be focusing on Monday, the 923.62. And if we blow through there, I'll have to do the projections or just recap until we get to the, so far long ago, to 945.50s. Any questions? Anything going on besides I should be aware of? 42 blue looks good. Admittedly, could be a little overkill. Well, you know what? This is Tesla, so I can do overkill. Look, I got to adjust this too because it's blocking me. We don't want the comments to block me, do we? That would be bad. No, the switching is not automated, but I have this little thing called Stream Deck, which I can jump around, switch main camera, side camera, go to my options screen.